welcome to Minerva. My name's Joan and today we're going to look at Minerva's cool range of 21 wale baby cord. This is a really lovely fabric because it gives you a really lovely velvety feel and soft texture. It's got a little bit of weight to it, but it's not very thick. So like some corduroys, when you get to 8 wale or jumbo cord and things, can be quite thick and quite textured. This one, because the wales are so tiny, just gives you more of a velvety, warm texture and doesn't give you a bulky cloth. So it's going to be really easy to sew with. It doesn't really, the pile doesn't really push against one another and walk against one another when you're working with it. So it's a really easy fabric for beginners to work with. And as you can see, it has a really nice kind of luster to the finish. Now, there's a few things about corduroy when you're using them that you need to consider. And the main one is that because it's got a slight pile to the surface of the cloth, you're going to need to really consider how much fabric you need to buy, because all your pattern pieces need to be head, toe, head, toe, head, toe. You can't dovetail your pattern pieces together in the same way as you can with a lot of fabrics. And the reason for that is the pile on this fabric causes shading. So if you were to cut some of your pattern pieces up one way and some of your pattern pieces up the other way, you'll find when you make your garment up, some of them will look lighter and some of them will look darker. Now I know this because when I was first learning to sew, I was still quite young, I was probably in my teens. I made a corduroy skirt and I had exactly that problem. I didn't realise I dovetailed my pattern pieces together, and before I knew it I had a skirt where half of it was light and half of it was dark. So that was certainly a case of buying more fabric and starting again. So when you're looking at your pattern layout, you want to look for one that's got something, the wording will be like napped or directional or one way. And if there isn't a lay plan or a cutting layout that gives you all your pattern pieces one way, you need to allow for more fabric and make sure that happens, so you don't end up like me with a garment that's half light and half dark. So this fabric is 100% cotton. It's nice and wide, it's 140 centimetres wide, and I would recommend, as I recommend with all natural fibred fabrics, that you wash it before you start, because they're just natural fibres can shrink a little bit. So pop it through the wash on whatever temperature you're going to be washing your garment on before you start, and then you're not going to have a problem. So what I want to do during this video is just take you through some of my favourite colourways. I want to talk to you a little bit about how some of them appear a bit different in real life than they do online, so you've got a really good idea of what colour you're going to be getting. And then I'm going to talk through some patterns that I think are ideal for this type of fabric. So let's have a closer look. So here are my 6 colours that I am going to talk about in this video, and I'm just going to take you through each one of these individually and talk about a pattern that may work for that particular colourway. Obviously all of this is personal preference, and as always we love to see what colourways you've teamed with a particular pattern, so don't forget to post your makes on the Minerva website. So let's start by looking at a colour that we call mandarin. So this colour is called Mandarin. Certainly on the website it appears that really bright orange of orange peel, but actually in the piece I'd call this a soft orange, or even verging on a light orangey terracotta. So it hasn't got the brightness that you see in the photo on the website. That being said, it is still a lovely colour, and I've teamed it with So Different's Artist Smock. And the reason I've chosen this pattern is because I think the baby cord is fine enough to make a really comfortable garment to wear over other things, but also I think this fabric will hold the shape really well. So it'll hold the simple lines of the Artist Smock and that lovely kind of turtle neckline that we've got on this pattern. I think this fabric would work very well for that. So following on from that, I've got this absolutely luscious bright pink. We call it fuchsia, and I think that is a true name. It's a really lovely bright cerise pink, and it's got a real depth of colour to it. Now it's going to make a real statement piece. You're not going to be able to hide in a crowd wearing this colour. And I've chosen another So Different pattern, and this time it's their everyday chic dress and tunic. And the reason I've chosen this pattern is I think it will drape really nicely. The little tucks you've got in the skirt, this fabric isn't going to be too thick, so it's going to tuck nicely. And also this style has some set-in pockets, so you're going to have several layers of this fabric, and because it's so lovely and fine, it's not going to create a bulky make. So I think the everyday chic dress by So Different is going to make up beautifully out of this 21 wale corduroy. So following on from that, I've got this lovely mid-grey. We would refer to it as a silver grey, but I'd say it's midway through the grey spectrum. It's a great colour for mixing with other garments. So for that reason, I've chosen the Friday Pattern Company's Ilford jacket. You can wear it as a shirt or you can wear it as a jacket. You can layer it up over things. And I just thought this colourway would be a great kind of universal wear. And it's always nice to include some menswear in my videos. This is a colour that we call teal. I'd say it's a really true turquoise. Certainly on the website it appears slightly more blue than it is, but I'd say it's a really true turquoise, and it has to be one of my favourite all-time colours. It's lovely and bright, and I find it a really easy colour to wear. Now for this one, I've chosen the Harrison shirt by Cashmerette. I just think it would look fabulous made up in that. And you could always do something like team it with some black buttons or some metal studs or something like that, just to kind of bring a little point of difference to your shirt. Again, I've chosen this pattern because I feel that the fabric is lightweight enough that you're going to be able to get that really nice contoured close fitting shirt that the Harrison shirt pattern gives you, and it's going to look really great made up in this fabric. So just to emphasise the real diversity of this 21 whale baby cord, I've chosen this lovely wine colour, which is merging on like a plummy wine colour. It's really beautiful colour. And I've teamed it up with a McCaw's jumpsuit pattern 7908. And I just think it will be absolutely fabulous. How great is it that we've got a fabric here that we can make into shirts, we can make into jackets, we can make into skirts. And here we are, it's fine enough to make this lovely tailored jumpsuit. I think it would work really well. You can have a nice kind of chunky zip coming down the front in maybe an antique gold. And I just think it will really lift this fabric and make an absolutely fabulous, eye-catching jumpsuit. So finally, I've got this lovely soft pink. We refer to it as light pink, but it's got a real softness to the colour. It's not too sugary. It's a really, really pretty pink colour. And I've chosen Tilly and the Buttons Clio pinafore dress for this fabric. I think it will hold its shape really well. The pattern has several different pocket options. This fabric isn't going to be too thick for you to make and manage stitching on your pockets. It's going to be a really great make if you're a beginner. Tilly and the Buttons gives you really good step-by-step instructions, and teamed with this fabric, which is going to be really easy to work with, I think that it's a really great combination. So there you have it. There are my choices for this corduroy, this 21 whale corduroy, my favourite colours and the patterns that I think would work really well and the reasons why I think they'd work really well. I hope that's given you some inspiration for your makes with this fabric. As always, please share them on our website. It gives lots of other viewers ideas of things that they might make and inspiration for projects they might have. I hope you found this video informative and useful, and until next time.